Good morning, everybody. It's Michael at FOUCH FABS. So it's Tuesday morning. We are at our install. It's a small install. Shouldn't be anything crazy going on with it. It looks pretty straightforward. Our entranceway is pretty nice and clear. I've got Miko with me today, and it's his first time coming on an install with just he and myself. He's been on a couple with him, Tony, and myself, so I'm going to be coaching him through it a little bit. So first thing we do is we bring in our templates, make sure everything fits to the cabinets real good, make sure everything fits to the walls. As you can see, the template's got little pieces on the back showing for bows in the wall. Also, we've got the seam over here over top of the Lazy Susan. This Lazy Susan is solid. Now, like I've showed y'all on other videos, a lot of them have pieces of wood coming up on the sides, and the actual top itself sets down about 1 inch. So we're not able to use our shim screws. This one is different. We will be able to use our shim screws on this, so I'll be showing him, and it'll be the first time for that. Also, you know, we've always got to have room to slide the pieces in and to get epoxy in the seam. So we'll be notching this wall back over here so that we can slide this L piece into the wall, which in turn will give us a 1/2 inch or so we don't chip our seam when we're sliding the pieces back, and also so we can get our epoxy in while we put that together. We'll be bringing our laser level in, setting it up, checking the levelness of the cabinets. We'll be setting our sink inside the sink hole. That way, once we put our tops on, we don't have to worry about trying to fit the sink in, which it will be okay on this one. But if your cabinet has a crossbar there, sometimes it's difficult to get your sink in, depending on the type of sink you're using. We'll be putting a dishwasher bracket in, and that's about it, fellas. So we're going to get started, bringing some tools and such in, checking the level and all that, and just like on every other video, I'll show you, you know, how level they are, and any problems we run into, I'll show you what they are and how we work through them. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments, and if you're nice, I'll answer it. If not, I probably won't, or I'll answer it not nicely. Alright, so anytime I have a job with backsplash on it, I always set my sawbucks up out here with wood. Now, we cut all of our splash to size at the shop, but sometimes it's difficult to lift the tops over the backsplash in my trailer how I got it, especially if you got a new guy who's not used to lifting it over stone. So we'll go ahead and set it up so that we can set the splash on the sawbucks, and that way if we need to modify it, we will, but it gets it out of our way. It's extremely important when you're setting your sink in the sinkhole to not damage any of the plumbing coming out of the walls. This is particularly important in an older home who is reusing their plumbing. A lot of times that PVC coming out of the wall, it's fragile. If you touch it, sometimes it'll fall apart. That's the reason I do not mess with any plumbing. And if you just don't care about what you're doing and you slam a sink in there, then you're going to break off that plumbing, and then you're going to be upside down on the job because you're going to have somebody come out here and replace the plumbing. We've got our laser level set up. As you can see, from left to right over here, the cabinets go up to the Lazy Susan, and from the Lazy Susan to the side cabinet, the cabinets go up to there as well. So we'll get our tops on here. We'll probably be doing some shimming, but we'll do what we got to do to make it work. Now, these are the twist shims here. You want to get them down about as flush as you can get them, and then you can go underneath in here and you can shim up if you need to. See it there? And there's before you put it in there. Alright guys, we had a huge bow in the wall. I'm talking like 1 inch out. So I had to cut the wall way down there. Because it was either pulling me way off the side of this cabinet, or it was pulling me about 1 inch out of my seam down there. So now you can see that The notch is behind where it needs to be. We're in the wall. And you come down here to our seam, and it's kind of lined up where we need it to be. I can work with it from here. If you remember, that side of the cabinet raised up when we looked at it with our laser level. So that is why this is floating up here. So I'm going to have to level all this out. All right, I'm mixing my color for my seam right now. I finally got it all leveled up. Cleaned my seam out as usual. Unfortunately, we got 3 shins deep down here, but I had to do it to get everything leveled. This color is pretty easy to mix for your seam, and I've done it a lot of times. So I'm going to go ahead and get my joint setter set up over here, and then I'll put my epoxy in it and show you what it looks like and how it turns out. Alright, I've got her together. She's setting up. I was able to get it nice and level. This particular joint setter here, it's very, very sensitive with these. I mean, it's very, very sensitive with these. If you guys have used one, you know what I'm saying. You know, you get a little bit of play with the Gorilla Grips, but with this one, it's very, very sensitive. So, you know, it's probably, I don't know, I'm into double digits to amount of seams I've done with this one now. And, you know, I'm starting to learn it. I'm going to do a comparison video. I've got some stone back in the shop I'm going to do it with, but there's definitely a difference in the two. Alright, job's finished. Wasn't too bad. Cabinets were a little unlevel and the walls were a little bowed. We were able to work it all out in the end. Seams right here. Turned out good. Caulked out with trans white. 30 inches for the cooktop. Backsplash painters caulked out. Floor swept up. Dishwasher bracket installed. Inside the sink swept out and clean. Everything good to go. Customer added drains and grids, leaving them here. Aftercare sheet in place. That's it, guys. Alright,